Welcome to the Healthy Life podcast that doesn't hold back. We discuss all subjects from wellness, healthy eating and fitness. Welcome to Healthy Life.
Hello, and I'm back here with Berni. Hello, Berni.
Hiya there, nice to be back.
Oh, excellent. So we want to talk about your family and living with your condition. Do you want to explain what your condition is quickly?
So I have type 1 diabetes and also diabetic macular edema, which is an eye complication that you can have with diabetes, which has meant that I have quite a profound sight loss.
Okay, so we're going to talk about obviously where it started. I mean, when did you first realise that this condition, was actually happening?
So my diabetes was actually diagnosed back in 1996 when I was expecting my first child. So that's when you're expecting children, you get loads of tests done, and there was no diabetes in my family at all, and I have an identical twin and she doesn't have diabetes. So it was really, really surprising to find out that I actually had diabetes. And at the time, I was told very much this is gestational diabetes. So as soon as you have your child, you won't have diabetes anymore.
Okay, but it didn't. It stayed.
No, it did.
And obviously that led to your sight loss and everything. So from there, you're a mother.
Yep.
Okay, you have a lovely family, a lovely husband.
Yeah.
And how did that impact on your family life?
So diabetes, it's a 24/7 condition. I mean, you cannot choose to not be diabetic one day and diabetic the next. So it is a condition that actually involves the whole family, because there are times when, for example, if your sugar level is too low, it can make you feel really rubbish. And it's at that time where sometimes the family need to step in and they need to sort of find the sugar for you, or whatever you've chosen as your your sugar
jelly
tool.
babies,
or
anything
exactly,
like that.
jelly babies, anything you've got really.
Yeah.
And this can be really awkward. So there are times when they have had to step in and just tell me just to find sugar. That's been really beneficial to me. And the support of my family has been really incredible, because they often look out for me for certain things. So, for example, if we go out for dinner, for example, a meal, we're always looking for the things that, that are best for me to have. And making sure that is appropriate and the restaurants are appropriate for me. I'm on an insulin pump, so I do use that, and that is on me all the time. So 24/7 I have an insulin pump attached, and that has been really good. So before, when I was first diagnosed, I had to use insulin pens.
Yeah.
So with an insulin pump, that gives me a lot more choices of things to eat, but I do depend on them to be just really. This is teamwork.
It's
really.
teamwork, isn't it?
It's teamwork, and I think it's great for the family to be involved and so supportive.
I mean, now obviously your daughters, they're grown up and they drive and things like that, so it makes life a lot easier. But beforehand, I remember you used to drive, so you used to be able to drive them around, and then obviously with the sight loss, you had to hand in your driving license, so that must have changed things on how things. So Jules obviously drives, your husband. So them driving again, it obviously opened up a whole new ball game again.
Yeah, so I lost my driving licence 10 years ago now, and for me that was a real shock. I didn't really expect that ever to happen, because I thought the treatment I was having was going to work, and just have treatment for a year. 11 years on, I'm still having monthly injections in my eyes. So so it's not particularly pleasant, but once you've had them, it's actually not as bad as it sounds. It really isn't. So losing my driving licence in 2013 was really difficult for me. At that point, both my children weren't old enough to drive.
Yeah.
So that meant that my husband, bless him, had to do all the driving. And that meant that, for example, if we went out for dinner or to a restaurant or to friends, he had to be really careful about how much he drank. He didn't have the you drive there, I drive back sort of thing, which is what we used to do. We drove to Scotland together and took it in turns, prior to having any sight loss. And that has been really hard, and at times I felt a little bit guilty, really, because I know what the impact of not being able to drive has had on him.
Okay, and obviously he works as well, so having to juggle all of that, working and driving, and because it's not just obviously with you, it's like picking and dropping off the kids and things like that. It
was very much like that. It was then having to rely on other people to help out.
Yeah.
So my husband is a sound engineer, and he actually goes away on tour with bands. He's done that for many years, and bless him, I love him for doing it. He loves it, and I don't want to take that away from him. But it did really mean that I had to then really think very carefully about how I was going to manage to ferry the children around to do the things they wanted to do, and be able to organise that. And sometimes it was the children organising their own lifts, and sometimes it was just me saying, please, can anyone help? And people did put their hands up and help. And in fact, with the car that I had, which just stayed on the drive and wasn't driven at all, I then got my best friend Tina to be on the insurance, and then she was able to help with ferrying the children around.
So it's because where you live, obviously there's a very much a community spirit as well.
Yeah.
So the community stepped up to help you, basically.
Yeah, they did, and I really needed that, because not being able to drive, I think, especially like in Surrey, the bus service is good where I am, but wow, you really realise when you don't drive how much driving gives you the freedom and independence of doing what you want, when you want, and where to go whenever you want to, really.
I mean, or even just getting in the car just to drive.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, during lockdown, I was shielding, and I had to shield for 4 months, not go past my garden gate. But some people who were shielding actually just went out in their car, didn't get out of the car, just drove. So they actually were still shielding in the fact that they were in their car and they didn't get out or anything like that. But they actually had the space to just get out, really, which I didn't have.
Okay. So, but all's good at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hear your one of your daughters is going to be going to a theatre school.
Yes, we really hope that for them. We went to Wales on Friday, and on Saturday they had an open day. It was brilliant, really. And they're doing really well. Both children have been so supportive over the years. This was when I was diagnosed with a sight loss, not so much diabetes, because they never really knew me without diabetes. That was when they really began to come together as a family, really, and support us. And in fact, talk about driving, the one place I so miss is being able to get to garden centres, because when I drove I used to just go for the afternoon on my own, have a potter around, but there's no bus services to the garden centres anywhere near me, so I depend on people driving me there. And my daughter, bless her heart, she said, "Mummy, the first place I'm taking you when I pass my test is a garden centre," and that's what she did. We had a great time.
It's fantastic. Thank you very much, Berni. I know we're going to be talking to you an awful lot over the next few weeks, so thank you very much for coming down.
Pleasure.
And we look forward to speaking to you soon.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Here at SMJ Media Group, we are a non-profit company providing fun, free content for local businesses. If you like our content and would like to support us, please visit buymeacoffee.com/SMJ Media Group and buy us a coffee.